Oh, Michelangelo? Well, it's a marked improvement from where the ground used to be. Hopefully they get a new real estate out there. Estate, isn't it? High density living.
You lost control of them after half time with their clearances and their run?
Yeah, well, initially after half time, but I thought we clawed it back pretty well. They even had some good opportunities late that we sort of muffed, to be frank. I thought we'd swung it back. Yeah, fluctuating fortunes. At times they're in control, then we're in control. But the bottom line is this: when the last quarter of the game was up for grabs, they dominated ground ball. At one spot, it was 10 entries to 1. 8 shots, ground ball 5 to 19, and clearances 2 to 12. At the end of the day, out of the centre square bounce where you're trying to get some drive was 0-6. So in all those simple but key indicators of winning the ball and getting it forward, we struggled. And there was a clearance where we surged it forward and kicked to Matthew, and 4 of them released back, and they put 20 metres on us, and I was commenting at the time in the box, that's not a good sign here. So, yeah, all credit to them. When the game was up for grabs, they won the ball really well, they won the clearances, and they drove the ball forward. Late in the game, when we actually could win some ball and got it forward, I thought we were able to score, but it was all too little too late, to be frank.
How surprising is that, Ross, when they take out their recognised ruckman and go with pinch hitters and yet get that success in the centre circle?
Well, I think it highlights all the ruckman can do is palm it, doesn't it? The rest is done at ground level. And we were good over the majority. I asked to surge forward a little bit more to try and get some score, and maybe I disrupted our structures and didn't help us, but I'd rather sort of dare to win and just keep it entitled though. But that's okay.
You said you comment in the box it wasn't a good sign, as in their run was getting away from you. Is that what you mean by wasn't a good sign?
Of which
they went back, the Padley situation where they went back and they
yeah, no, that's what, it's not a good sign, yeah. Because it's about win the ball and spread. It's a simple game, win the ball and spread either way. And they were winning it and outspreading us. And if they're winning it, you want to be spreading. So, yeah, it was, at the end of the day, all credit to them. They're a very good team. We felt they were a very good team today. You can see it from the outside, but they certainly ran and worked. We're just a bit inconsistent in our output. There were some really good things. I spoke to the players, and what we do from here is we acknowledge that we need to improve, and we try and train and improve it on the track. So that's all we can do. You know, there'll be a lot of opinions and dissection outside of that and abstract views and all that. But at the end of the day, under pressure, you know, we need strategy and structure that enables us to win the ball and then spread. So that's what we're thinking internally.
You mentioned improve. Is there a particular area where you feel you need to improve?
Well, I think it's all areas. We're far from playing our very best football. You know, at times we give opportunities to our forwards, and at times we don't. So at times we use the ball really well against their +1, change the angles, look really dangerous. And at times we didn't. So it's bits and pieces of everything. But fundamentally, it's the core basics of when the game was up for grabs at three-quarter time, which it clearly was. I'll just reiterate. They won the ground ball, they won the clearances, and they drove it forward. So, and from there, when you're tired and you're fatigued, it's running the other way becomes quite difficult.
Was it fitness-based, do you think? That they?
Pardon?
Is it fitness-based that they managed to run over the top of you?
No, it's body work, get inside, win the ball. If you're winning the ball, you always feel a bit better on the run. I thought we had... Look, it can look like that, but I'd be surprised if it was.
Okay.
Ross, did you feel you had the advantage in the first half, and if so, it should have come up to more on the scoreboard?
No, I don't know. I think both teams had their moments in the first half. I thought they dominated a bit early, and then I thought we fought back really well.
The second was very good, yeah.
Yeah, and the second was very good. We lost them early in the third, and then got back, I reckon, to wrestle it back and muffed a couple of chances forward. And then again, I think both teams would have thought we can win this game at three-quarter time. But again, I'll just reiterate, they did what they did. They won the ball, won the clearances and drove. It's a game of territory at the end of the day. I mean, you need to do it with a bit of precision, but, you know, Gray really got to work, I reckon. He was dominant out of those 19 ground balls. I think he had 6 at the time. Wingard takes a special mark, and we started to try different things that opened up our stoppage stuff, and they scored around their forward 50. So which we acknowledge, but it was worth the risk, really.
The loss of Gill, what impact did that have on you, and what happened to him?
Yeah, he's just got a bit of a sore leg. I think they're talking a knock to the knee. They said he was all right, he struggled. Look, it's not ideal, but everyone loses players, and we subbed him out and Clancy come in, so...
I haven't seen you come down to the bench before to talk to a player. What happened with the
Yeah, look, I was
situation?
quite animated. I think that was more about me and my frustrations. It wasn't... Look, it probably wasn't an ideal look, a bit of theatre, but I went to pick up the phone and I was so close and I was up and about a bit, so I'd spoken to Daniel about, looking forward and taking one-on-ones, and we had a couple of one-on-ones and he was trying to invent a handball, and I went back the other end for a goal. So as a coach, it's not about Daniel, that's about me and my frustration, but I was going to pick up the phone. I thought, for the sake of the exercise, sometimes you like to shake some players up a bit, and Daniel tends to respond pretty well when I sort of challenge him, so I just wanted to challenge him. And then he come back on, he got the ball and he drove the ball, and Clark marked it. So therein lies the difference, and probably wasn't an ideal look. It's probably... Daniel's mum mightn't be happy with me, but but I've certainly acknowledged it, and it's a bit of theatre. I've done it before.
Did you have a look at Paul Duffield's bump on Chad Wingard, given the possible...
No, in all honesty, Luke Morfess mentioned Paul might be brought up in the press, and I said, well, I haven't seen it legitimately. Look, it's a topical, isn't it? Sort of rough head last night. Has he? Oh, I'm not too sure, I didn't see it. Certainly, you wouldn't like to comment on it, but I wouldn't say Paul's renowned for bumping people.
You mentioned Wingard's marked it before. What's your take on him as an opposition coach, given he's only played 50 games today?
Yeah, he's a 50-game player with plenty of talent.
Just that?
I think you can write your own headlines. I said he took a very good mark. I think you've written enough about him, enough bouquets without me adding to them. What is he? Very talented kid in a very talented team. I don't sit there and... I'm not a theatre goer. But, yeah, he's a good player.
I was going to ask about next week, actually, with Pavlich. What sort of build-up you expect and how important that is to the club? I know it's probably the last thing...
the 300 game?
Yeah, it's probably the last thing on your mind right now, but it's maybe
a good
worth
point,
addressing.
it is.
Maybe
we'll
worth
deal with it
addressing
in the week,
anyway.
I reckon. Look, it's going to be an important milestone. He's a South Australian boy, made a name for himself in the West and in AFL footy. We'll acknowledge it in the right manner and try and honour the occasion with great effort. But once the ball's bounced, it'll be about the team.
You're not playing great footy, you're not playing bad footy, but you're 4-4 having played 8 of the top 10 teams. Next week you play Geelong, that's 9 of the top 10, and you're the other one. How do you put that into overall perspective about your form in general, do you reckon?
Well, the overall perspective is we're not one of the best teams in the competition, because if we were, we would have been able to beat them, and we'd be sitting with 1 loss or 2 losses like the best teams, like Hawthorn, Port Adelaide, is it Sydney, Geelong? So they're clearly ahead of us, and we're in the ruck at 4-4. And, we'll every endeavour to improve our football to try and get a win next week, So we're still right in it, but we're in the bottom reaches of the 8, it would seem, with the level of football we're playing. We know we've got better footy in us, but talk's cheap. We need to sort of pull that out and keep persevering and persisting. And, we've got another game in the Hayden Crozier today. Sutcliffe and Neil. I thought Neil was pretty good again. So we've got some youth, Clark. We've got Tommy Sheeran and Ibbotson, and we've got Apnis in the 2s. So we've got a little bit to add, we've got some challenges, but we need to improve our football. The players and myself aren't thrilled. Yeah, we're a mediocre team at the minute.
Well, you know that question is always about how much Fremantle scores.
Yeah.
Is that still relevant to you? Is it still a
That's
work in
always
progress?
relevant. We're trying to improve our scoring. So I think when we're winning the ball and we're moving the ball, I thought we had some really slick ball movements. It's about doing it more consistently, but the last few weeks we're dissipated. So we played with real penetration early in the year, then we started bomb +1. We tried to control a little bit more, but it's going to be about trying to find the balance. But, the last quarter, if you can't win the ball, you can't score. So one entry, it's pretty hard to judge. We can get better, there's no doubt. We're not shying away from that. But, both years we've been able to improve it as the season gone on. We started well with Peter. Yeah, we're making no bones about it. The headline figure's 2 goals. At the end of the day, you know, we've been 5th and 7th attack for most of the year, and there's another 11 teams behind us, and teams sitting in front of us on the ladder sitting behind us on scoring. So we understand we're not the most prolific, but we are trying to improve it. We acknowledge that, and so we'll keep adding systems and use and personnel until we get what we want.
When you say mediocre, is that a word you want to ring among your players or ring among us?
Well, we acknowledge it. At the minute, we're normal, good, average, mediocre. You can put it there, but we're certainly not great. And that's indisputable. You know, whereas we have played some great footy in the past, but the past is irrelevant. As it sits today, we're in the ruck. There's a few elite teams around, and at the minute we're not one of them. But let me add, we're going to work our backside off to try and improve our footy coaches and players, and we've done it before, and that's the aim to do it again. It's not easy, but certainly attitude-wise, we're up for the challenge. How long it will take, we'll just keep going until we get there, and that's been our model. Thanks, Ross.
Thanks very much. Any other interests?